Cubs looking for their 10th straight win, taking on Greg Maddux. San Diego, 2 outs, Maddux, Jim Edmonds, Justin Huber. That's a top play nominee, and why not? Maddux gets out of the second. 1-2-3 inning, top 6. Maddux facing Alfonso Soriano, and he swings through that. Maddux, 4 Ks, a run, and 3 hits allowed. Next batter, Ryan Theriot on the ground, double play. Get this, he threw just 69 pitches in 7 innings of work. Let's go to the 9th. 2-1 game, Padres up. Trevor Hoffman in for the save, facing Derek Lee with a man on. Forget about it. Hoffman is 12th save of the season. That puts a halt to the Cubs' season-high 9-game win streak.
So armed with the news that Smoltz would be unavailable, the Braves went at it with the Marlins, had a 4-2 lead into the 9th. Manny Acosta on to close because Rafael Soriano was unavailable, and Mike Ravello posits that in the seats, his 3rd of the year, and just like that, we're tied at 4. Later in the inning, Hanley Ramirez is going to come up, and he thought, well, the home run trot, that's better than having to run really fast. Out you go. Marlins' first win when trailing entering the 9th. So they improved to 1-23, and Acosta 2 blown saves in his last 2 outings. Marlins rule the day 6-4. 31 of the 61. The Phillies have taken the first 2 from the Reds. Edison Volquez on the mound. He's not allowed more than 2 earns in any of his 11 starts this season. That's not going to be an earned run. Chase Utley goes down. Volquez, 7 innings pitched, no earned, 2 hits, 8 Ks. Excellent. You know what? Brett Myers just as good. Perfect game into the 5th, but he walks Adam Dunn. And he walks Joey Votto. Dunn, though, was caught stealing. I'm not sure why he was even running. Edwin Encarnacion draws a walk from Myers. 6 walks on the night. A little consultation from your pitching coach, and that just gets him right. Son, the plate doesn't move. There we go. Paul Bacco, you're done. All right. The no-hitter continues for Myers as we go to the 7th. Still has not allowed a hit. Votto 0-2 pitch with 2 outs, drills at the left center, and, well, not only is the no-hitter gone, so is the shutout. Reds lead 1-0. Top 8, Ken Griffey Jr. into pinch hit. Again, he sat out General Soreness. That is not going to be career home run number 600. He's going to walk. 2nd straight night pinch hits and walks. 2nd straight night Bronson Arroyo gets down there and stretches out, gets some track and field running in. The Reds win it 2-0. Another gem for Volquez. Gives him 12 consecutive starts to begin the year, allowing 2 earned runs or fewer. Tied with John Tudor, 88 campaign for the most in the last 50 years in the National League. Volquez has allowed 2 earned runs twice in 12 starts, allowed 0 or 1 in all 10 of the guy is just stout.
And if you stretch, you avoid general soreness.
Yes.
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball, Rays, Red Sox, Josh Beckett looking to go 4-1 in his last 5 starts against the Rays. He strikes out B.J. Upton. Beckett allowed just a run in 6 innings. Upton, not thrilled. Bottom 3, 1-0 Sox. J.D. Drew batting 3rd in place of David Ortiz. Does his Big Papi imitation. Battle score Jacoby Ellsbury, 2-0 Red Sox. Next batter, Manny Ramirez. That'll work. Drew scores from 2nd. Ramirez, during this 10-game hitting streak, is hitting .366 with 12 RBIs. Top 8, Sox up by 4. B.J. Upton. Hideki Okojima strikes him out looking. Upton again, not happy. He argues. You know what happens when you argue. You get tossed by the home plate umpire, Paul Amel. Upton, 3 strikeouts on the day. Julio Lugo, crisp running for 2nd. Good throw by Navarro, who nails him. Crisp slide takes out Akinori Iwamura. Crisp and Joe Madden go at it. They don't agree. Sox win.
Blue Jays, Yankees. Derek Jeter tied with the Mickey Mantle for 3rd in the all-time Yankees hit list. He's got 6 hits in his last 3 games, and, well, look at that. He is now standing alone. Singles to right. Jose Molina scores. Yanks up 1-0. And Jeter, 3rd all-time in the Yankee hit list. The numbers there, 2,416. That is a lot of base knocks. Now, Mike Mussina comes to this game swell, 7-1 in his last 8 decisions. He's as good as Jeter, at least he was on this night. Matt Stairs can only look. Brad Wilkerson down on the old cutter. Marco Scutaro. Whoa, yeah, that's a knee buckler. Mussina, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned, 6 Ks, improves to 9-4. The Yanks win it 5-1. So with the 3rd inning single, Jeter passes the Mick, as we said, into 3rd place all-time. Only Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig are ahead of the current Yankee captain. He's the captain. 305 away from the Iron Horses club record. Jeter said of his name on the list, Royals White Sox, the Kansas City team, in a bit of a jam in the 5th. We got 1 out, runners on 1st and 2nd. The Sox up 3-2. Carlos Quentin, ground ball to Esteban Herman. He can't handle it. Throws home to get Alexi Ramirez. He crosses the plate. No call is made.
What the?
Trey Hillman talks to the umpire. Bill Miller, what's going on there? Okay, we look at it as it appears Ramirez doesn't touch the plate. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the rule is, but it's the one about you got to touch the plate to score a run. They appeal, and guess what? You're out. Ozzie listens and says, well, all right, that is the rule. 3-2 Sox. Now, Paul Konerko owns Jimmy Gobble. 4 for 5, 3 homers. It was 4-4 after the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So into the 15, add 1 to all those numbers. Konerko, another one off him. Sox win 6-4. The Royals have lost 14 of their last 16. Diamondbacks and the Crew. Hooray for beer. Milwaukee finding his mojo. 5 straight wins, 8 of 9. Ryan Braun, he's looking to add to those streaks. There you go. Linesman to center field. The run scores. The Brewers lead 2-1, and they are so on their way. 6th one in the 4th. Corey Hart lines one into right. Justin Upton, whoops, didn't make it. Braun and Prince Fielder will score easily. Hart, he's going to have to work a little harder. Now it's a NASCAR race. Just keep turning left till you get home. Wah! Brewers go on to win it 10-1. Hart's 7th homer of the season.
Against the Angels, Torrey Hunter. Top 1-0 Angels. Hunter against Carlos Silva. That'll work. M's were actually down 5-1 at one point. They crawled back to make it 5-4 in the bottom of the 6th. So let's go there right now, shall we? Ichiro up with a man on first. Ichiro slaps one. Yuniesky Betancourt, for some reason, is going to try to score from first, and this isn't even close. He's nailed at the plate. The Angels hang on to win 5-4, and cue the meltdown by Seattle skipper John McLaren.
We're playing our every day and got nothing to show for it. I'm tired of and I'm trying to get beaten, so are those guys. We got to change this around and get after it. And only we can do it. The fans are and I'm and the players are off. And that's the way it is. There's no easy way out of this. Can't feel sorry for ourselves. Got to buckle it up and get after it. Tired of losing this every night and we bust our ass. It's got to be a total team effort to turn this thing around, and that's it.
Along that bleeping line of questioning here, Indians, they find their offense against the Rangers. Cliff Lee, we put a composure meter on Oak Cliff here in the 5th. He's ahead in the count 0-2 on Milton Bradley. Milton thinks it's strike 3. He's going to the dugout, but Tim Timmons disagrees. The ump disagrees. Usually it's the other way around. It's okay. Our man still very composed. Bradley strikes out swinging. Lee's fine. Look at that. Everything's good. We're still in the green. Later in the inning, Lee ahead of Brandon Boggs 1-2. Doesn't get the call again. And now maybe we're warming some. Boggs hits it to left center in this at-bat. Grady Sizemore, circuitous route, doesn't get there. Marlon Byrd will score, and we're tied at 6. And Cliff now, he's in the yellow. He's heated. He's warming later in the inning. Chris Shelton, down he goes. But Lee still heated as he walks off the mound, heads to the dugout. And as you can see, we're just sort of, we're boiling here and we're building. And
we're heated. We're not boiling.
No, but right now he looks a little like Danica Patrick trying to find Ryan Briscoe, you know. And finally, yeah, he's fuming. He's punching out coolers, and it's not so good. And he's going to sit there and he's going to fume. Sometimes what you have to do, you got to fume, you know. Let the blood pressure get up. It's all right. There we go. Top 6. He's in line for no decision, but look, his teammates pick him up. Ryan Garco, base hit up the middle, 2-run score, and now look at that. No longer, if we're a teapot, are we whistling. We're down, we're heated, and eventually they're going to get 5 in the 6th. We're composed. All's well that ends well. Indians.
Mets and Giants top first. No score runners on the corners. 1 out. Matt Cain on the mound and Carlos Beltran. He's been carrying the club over the last week and a half. That's right. 8 ribbies in the last 6 games. That one off the glove of Aaron Rowan. Jose Reyes, David Wright come in to score, making it 2-0 Mets. Well, let's go to the top of the 4th, shall we?
Okay.
After a 2-out walk to the pitcher, John Maine, Jose Reyes made up for another error when he did that. Into the bleachers, his 8th of the year. Mets hang on to win 5-3.
Number 10, Fred, Wilmington, North Carolina, not just famous for Michael Jordan anymore. No, they also have Anthony Lawson, who broke the world record for continuous karaoke singing, 39 hours, 2 minutes. Sang a lot of We Are the Champions and 39 hours of Sweet Caroline.
Number 9, Mets and Giants, Omar Vizquel for the love of 40-somethings. 41 years young, Omar Vizquel goes up high, but the Mets beat the Giants.
Did you just take a shot at me? Number 8, NASCAR, prelude to a dream charity race. That's on the dirt. Points leader Kyle Busch splashing through the mud. Tony Stewart would win. It's his event. Good for him. All for charity. Look at Tony. Now just win one on the big circuit. Ooh, 10K. Nice.
Number 7, it's soccer. It's Argentina. It's Mexico. Look at the save by Mexico defender Johnny Maguillon. The ball just grazes his head. Mexico loses 4-1.
Number 6, Royals White Sox. Nick Swisher fouls off a pitch over the third base sign, and Alex Gordon reaches over the tarp, makes the catch. Part of the ground screw there. Oh, look out. Where's Bartman when you need him?
Number 5, later in the game, bottom 15, tie game. Paul Konerko just responding to a good visual off a Jimmy Gobble, and the White Sox win, thank goodness, in 15, 6-4.
Number 4.
Yes.
Efforting. Wednesday night fights. Carlos Prada in the white trunks knocks down Carlos Garcia. The right hook to the chin. And go to sleep. There you go. And again, it sounded like this.
Number 3, Red Phillies. Pedro Feliz, the Flair, Brandon Phillips. Wow, Yoga really paying off for Brandon. Reds win 2-0. Edinson Volquez is now 8-2.
Number 2, Orioles Twins. The bases Chuck, Michael Kadire. Line drive down the line. No one will score here. Robbed by a diving Melvin Mora. Excellent work by him. Mora also homered. The Twins won 7-5.
Is there any doubt? Number 1, under 5 seconds to go, 1-goal game. Sidney Crosby, the save by Osgood. Marion Hossa, no! Detroit hangs on to win 3-2. What a game. What a Stanley Cup final. The captain, Nicholas Lidstrom, accepting Lord Stanley from Gary Bettman.
Well, they played baseball in Boston, too. Red Sox a chance to sweep the Rays. They've already taken first place from Tampa Bay. Bottom first, no score. 2 on. Nobody's on, actually. Manny Ramirez, 3-run job off James Shields. That's way out of the park. His 13th. Sox up 3-0. And the game essentially over here, but not the drama or the crisis. We flash back to Wednesday because it's the second inning. Coco Crisp is up. And here you see Jason Bartlett blocks the bag as Crisp slides head first, jams his thumb. So that's not really good. It's a lesson to sort of pay and pay back, because then goes in again. This time he upends Aki Iwamura. And now he has some words, not really nice PG-13 words with Joe Madden. Now we come back to Thursday, and Shields bonks him in the second. And now, yeah, here we come. Everybody dancing. We have a fist fight. We've got a dust-up. We've got a rhubarb. Dare I say, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. Boy, look at that thing. Two piles, Shields and Crisp. And why? Look at that. Crisp out of the way and then firing at Shields. Deanna Navarro tackles Chris to the ground, and you can watch Johnny Gomes come in here. That's him arrowed. Lands a couple of punches on Chris. A rabbit punch to the back of the head. Carl Crawford, I think you actually lose points with the judges for that. Gives a few punches on Chris, too. It's quite the takedown. Shields is tackled, falls awkwardly on his right shoulder. That's always terrible if you're the manager, the pitching coach. So apparently the Rays, though, still got a little devil in them. Eventually, it's the full-on Cookie Rojas triple toss. Shields, Chris, Gomes, all gone. But we're not done. Scary moment for the Red Sox. Evan Longoria flies him to right center. Jacoby Ellsbury makes the nice diving catch, but he comes up holding his wrist, the right wrist. Take another look. Gets the glove under there, rolls that baby under. Yep, we're going to need some ice there. He'd leave the game. Strained right wrist. Certainly more tests to come on that joint to make sure he's fine. Now, bizarre situation. Conclusion of the 4th inning. Manny Ramirez, Kevin Youkilis getting an argument. And now Manny appears to take a swing at Youkilis. There's a scuffle. Manny's having to be restrained. Youkilis is quite frankly not sure what's going on. Manny's escorted eventually to the clubhouse to cool off. You have a cooling down period there. Again, Youkilis doesn't know what happened. Now, manager Terry Francona says no big deal, and it won't become a big deal, but certainly that's curious. I mean, you're the first-place team. Things are going well, and that breaks out. Bottom 7, Ramirez. Dan Wheeler throws a breaking ball inside. Manny sort of turns away. Guess he tweaks his right hamstring, avoiding the pitch. He would leave the game, but he would be fine eventually. Red Sox win 7-1, but what about the chaos?
I do think, from what I saw, we didn't handle ourselves where there'll be a whole lot coming from, different places, but happens and you move on. I'm not the final ruling. I mean, I thought Crawford was pretty aggressive out there, which I would think that the replays will show.
I charged the mound. And, I fainted like I was going to go to first base just to get Navarro off me a little bit. Like the scratches on my face were people trying to scratch like we playing football or something, like little girls trying to scratch out my eyes. Everybody tried to get the little blows in. I think Ikamura, he threw one little, he was unsure if he really wanted to hit me or not, it seemed like. But because he didn't really hit me hard. Big dude, what's his name? Johnny Gomes. He tried to come in, a hefty dude, tried to throw some blows. I don't know if it's over or not, but like I said, tit for tat, and right now is even to me, so it is what it is.
So on the apologetic scale, Coco right now, he's at about a 1. Next time the Rays and Red Sox will meet will be in a 3-game set 4 weeks from now. Where? Tampa. You got it. Home team swept a 3-game series from the Sox down at the Trop earlier this season. Boston leads the season series 6-3. It's all been sweeps. Rays only won the season series once. That was back in 1999. Reds and Phillies finishing up 4 in the cradle of freedom. Bottom third were scoreless. Runner on second, 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins facing Homer Bailey. It's a pop fly to short left. Paul Janisch going back. Janisch under it. Oh, he dropped it. That's an error. Carlos Ruiz will score. Rollins, though, he's just going to be down there at first base. The Phillies up 1-0. We look at it again, and Rollins just put the heads down. He's just trotting. That is not the necessary effort to get all the way to second, and it's too late there. And as you can imagine, that's not going to make your skipper happy. So after the 4th inning, manager Charlie Manuel takes the MVP and sits him down. Bottom 5th, same score, Eric Bruntley. Filling in for Rollins. Fly ball to right. Ken Griffey Jr. gets crossed up. He can't catch it. You got to throw it. You got to catch it. You got to hit it. It's baseball. Phillies lead 2-0. Both runs unearned. Now, Cole Hamels is like the sun, only brighter. Bruntley diving stop on Jay Bruce. Ryan Howard the stretch. Bruce thought he had an RBI. Turns out he's just another rookie. Top 9, Hamels facing Griffey. Still looking for number 600. Made his first start in the series here in this one. He goes 1 for 4. This ain't the one, and it ain't number 600. Shane Victorino is there. Phillies still leading this thing 5-0 as he leaves. The crowd gives him a standing ovation. Very nice. Corey Patterson out number 27. Howard has got it. Phils win 5-0, but here's the Sage on sitting down at shortstop.
That's a done issue. I mean, I don't have to say nothing else about it.
Had nothing to do with his injury, Charlie.
I said I don't have to talk about it. Okay? I said I don't have to talk about it. I'll see you.
All right, so Charlie apparently didn't want to talk about it, but Rollins, he took his benching like a man, an MVP, said of Manuel's move, he's the manager, and that's what he had to do. He has 2 rules, be on time and hustle. I broke one today. It's my fault. I can't be mad at him.
Cubs and the Dodgers, Majors best Chicago with wins in 9 of its last 10 coming in. Bottom 8, Cubs up 4-3 with 2 outs and nobody on. It's Jeff Kent. He already homered once in this game, make it twice. 20th career multi-homer effort, 373 of his career, 8th of the season. We're tied at 4. Top 9, winners on first and second. Tashi Saito doesn't want to do that. Kosuke Fukudome, they are by a single to right. Chicago has a 5-4 lead. Bottom 9, 2 outs. Kerry Wood trying to close it out. Juan Pierre on a 3-2 count draws the walk. The bags are full. Matt Kemp feeling his 4-game suspension for Tuesday's fracas at the dish, and Wood gets him. Wood with his NL best 17th save of the season, and the Cubs win again. 5-4 is the final.
All right, we've got the Braves and the Marlins and Chipper Jones, who leads the majors in hitting at .409. That is a tasty clip. Bottom first, Braves down 1-0. Runner on first, Chipper. Singles to right. Escobar collides with Hanley Ramirez at short. We've got an interference call. He'll advance to third. Bottom third, 2-1. Jones again, and thank you very much. Little pitch shot over there to right. That's a knock. Go to the 6th. Braves up 6-5. Now Jones, he's got 399 homers. That's not exactly, chopped liver. I know we have Junior there at 599. Now he has 400. Jones' 14th homer of the season. 400. Now, at some point, you figure the batting average will dip below the career home run number, but I'm not so sure. Jones, the curtain call, 4 for 5. He's now hitting .418. I believe Phillies pitching is up next. Chipper Jones, 43rd member of the 400 home run club. It's getting crowded in there. Joins a more exclusive club, though. 3 switch hitters. That's all. 3 have done it. Mickey Mantle, Eddie Murray, Chipper, and he's hit them all playing for Bobby Cox, the most homers to begin a career playing for one manager.
Blue Jays and the Yankees rubber game for the first time in 34 games. Catcher Jorge Posada back in the starting lineup. Walk into the stadium with Yogi Berra and Java Chamberlain. Top 5 tied at 2. Alex Rios lining the Chin-Ming Wong offering to center. Melky Cabrera.
No one can catch.
Joe England took off from second. He scores on Cabrera's 3rd error of the season. Blue Jays up 3-2 after Scott Rowland was hit by a pitch. Matt Stairs lines it down the right field line. David Eckstein and Rios score. Toronto has a 5-2 lead. Bottom 8. Yankees down just a run with 2 on and 2 out. Johnny Damon. Oh, Scott Downs. That could be trouble. Brad Wilkerson is there. Downs digging it. Blue Jays hold on to their 1-run lead. Top 9, bases loaded. England to left center. Cabrera catching and atoning. Yankees keep it a 2-run game, and skipper Joe Girardi likes what he sees. Yankees 0-27 when trailing after 8 innings this season. Bottom 9, B.J. Ryan, dicey with 2 out and 1 on. It's Hideki Matsui. Base knocked to center. Alex Rodriguez come on home. And the Bombers cut the lead to 8-7. Your next batter, pinch hitting Jason Giambi on an 0-2 count. That's a swing and a drive. His 4th career walk-off shot, number 12 on the season. It's the first pinch hit go-ahead home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th in Yankee history. The Bombers take it 9-8. Padres, New York swinging to win a 3rd straight. Scott Schoenweiss into the game. Bottom 9 tied at 1. First batter, Scott Hairston. Down 0-2, and Schoenweiss walks him. Hairston on first. Willie Randolph not happy. Next batter, Brian Giles. Draws a free pass. We got runners on first and second after an Adrian Gonzalez ground out and an intentional walk to Kevin Kuzmanov. They're loaded, and the first pitch to Paul McAnulty hits him. First time since 1997. The Mets lose a game on a hit batsman. Padres take it 2-1.
You are full of the longest stats in the world in this show. Cardinals-Nationals played Thursday, 2 really good ones. Tony La Russa keeping Albert Pujols out, a mild calf strain. Craig Gloss got the start instead of Pujols at first, and looky there. He's going to go to first, second, third, and all the way home. 2-run shot for Gloss. 5th homer of the year. Cards up 2-0. Todd Wellmeyer then looking sharp. Here facing former Red Sox great Willie Mopena. Lines it right back. Well, look what I have. Wellmeyer, 6 innings pitched, 5 Ks, no earned. And then Albert Pujols pinch hitting for the pitcher. And thank goodness it's a mild calf strain, because if he'd been healthy, that might have hit the Capitol. His 15th, the Cards win it 4-1. After a shower, change clothes, light bite to eat, back out. Game 2, all this precipitated by Wednesday's rain out. Mark Morrell making his first Major League batting appearance, and how about that? A 3-run jack. Tony La Russa, all he can do is laugh, right? Here's a pitcher, first big league at bat, it's a home run. Cards down just 8-6. Joe Mather solo his first career homer. Talk about your Midas touch if you're La Russa, huh? Cards take a 9-8 lead in the 10th. Bottom 10th, because they'll let the home team have an at-bat there. Same score went on. Elijah Dukes, no homers and 59 at-bats. Well, I mean, everybody's hitting and it's not supposed to be. There it goes off Ryan Franklin. First home run as a National for Dukes. It was the Dukes. Now back to basketball. Boston, booyah, Stuart Scott. Indians Rangers, C.C. Sabathia, Karsten Charles, 0-2 in his last 3 starts, but spotted a 4-run lead down there in Texas. Bottom 3rd, Milton Bradley singles through the left side of the infield. Michael Young scores, and just like that, we are knotted up at 4. Bradley's 6th ribby in the series. In the 7th, Bradley batting from the left this time. Lines a shot down the right field line. That's going to stay fair. Bradley rounding 3rd in the home run. He gives a little shrug, right? We got an NBA Finals themed sports center. Where have we seen that before? Jordan, just game 1, wiping out the Blazers in the NBA Finals. You know, the difference is MJ's counted for 3, I believe. Bradley only gets 1, but it's all right. Rangers win at 9-4. Go to something that has 10. That'd be the Sports Center's top plays. Number 10, Fred. PJ, Stanford St. Jude Classic, round 1. That's in Memphis. That's Bob Sowards and Eagle Boyne. Problem was he threw 8 back at the field, finished +6.
Number 9, Cardinals-Nationals, game number 2. Ryan Ludwig to right center. Elijah Dukes is there. More from Mr. Dukes in just a bit.
All right, ladies playing a major this week. LPGA McDonald's, Lorena Ochoa, #1 player in the world by a lot on 18. Thank you. That dropped. She's 3 under, 69, trails the leaders.
Number 7, MLS, Chivas USA taking on New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. Juan Pablo Angel redirects the cross with his head into the net. Metro Stars win 1-0.
Number 6, Marlins, Braves, Chipper Jones, add 1, 390, 400 career homer. Congratulations to him, and he's hitting .418 to boot. Just a remarkable season so far, a remarkable career for Chipper.
Number 5, Rays, Red Sox at the Fens. Evan Longoria to right center. Jacoby Ellsbury. Oh, that looked impressive and yet hurtful all at once. Ellsbury would lead the game. Red Sox win.
Number 4, Reds, Phillies. It's hard to be too flattering for Cole Hamels.
Grabbed by Brundtland. He got him. What a sensational play by Eric Brundtland. He saves the shutout for Cole Hamels.
And Brundtland's terrific, too.
Number 3, Lakers Celtics. Paul Pierce drawing the foul on Vladimir Radmanovic, and the bank is open for 3. It's a 4-point play, and Pierce's Celtics take game 1 by 10.
Number 2, how about we get 2 outs in 1 play? You know, Escobar to short, Hanley Ramirez diving stop, little flip over to Dan Ugla, and then Mike Jacobs on the other end of it. I mean, that's a good play all around. Glove, bare hand, stretch. Thank you, although the Marlins lost.
Number 1, 2 big endings. Cardinals-Nationals game 2, bottom 10. Nats down 9-8. Elijah Dukes walk-off home run. Nationals win in 10. Earlier in the day, Yankees-Blue Jays.
That one's driven deep to right. If it's fair, it's over. It is gone. See ya. A pinch hit. 2-run, game-winning, walk-off home run for Jason Giambi. And the Yankees win their best win of the season.